past couple weeks, just as an update, I've been getting pretty much all my guns back that I had in year one and getting them to current light levels, which is a bit of a pain because things aren't as easy to get as it was in Crota and stuff like that. Like everything for me usually dropped in the first time I did it or something like that. Nowadays, you do a hard raid and you end up getting a 305 weapon. Like, I know it's RNG, but shit, man. I could just do normal and get better shit. Like, it's kind of pathetic in my mind, but, you know, things happen. It's stupid. Anyways, Bungie is, from what I've heard so far, is not going to have any paid DLCs this year until they release either a comment or the next, I guess, update to Destiny, which would be Destiny 2 as they call it. But as in the previous press conference that they said in the beginning when Destiny was going to be released, they said that all your character information and data will be crossed over. So in my mind, they're probably not going to even make a new well, they're probably going to make a new downloadable content. So it'll be like the Taken King. It'll be a lot of content to download, but it's just gonna be another comet. Maybe even the size of the original game, but they'll still be considered a comet because they're not gonna make a whole new game with whole new graphics. They're gonna be using the same kind of textures, rehashes of Vex or whatever the main boss or enemy is gonna be this year. But it's an MMO. Every MMO reuses their textures and whatnot. Of course, every year you have a brand new place, but I'm not expecting too much. Hopefully, another planet. That's the big thing. I'm looking for maybe some Mercury missions. That would be nice. Or maybe Jupiter. Let's finally get into Xur's place and see what he has in store. But that's my little speech on what I think is going to be this year. If it even gets an update this year, it could be just DLCs and they totally just forget about Destiny 2 or the next comment, and they're like, yo, we decided to just put out some more DLCs like Oryx, where we had a raid and a bunch of unparalleled story quests, but everyone's gonna play it anyways because they love Destiny that much. Hopefully they don't do that and they actually release some content. They've been pushing towards, how I can say that, microtransactions, which I don't actually mind. I do like cosmetics. What I would like more is maybe changing hairstyles, outfits that maybe just mask your armor, but you don't have to replace. So I know in the fall they had a bunch of cosmetic armors that you could put on, but they decrease your light level. Well, what about having an oversuit that just masks your armor but doesn't take down the light level? Because the whole point of those things is you want to do the raid and show your friends, oh man, look at this cool thing I got. The one guy's like, oh, I need to get that, and that would really, Bungie would definitely profit a lot from that. And Activision, since they're pretty much owning Bungie, but yeah, so I think they need to definitely focus more for their money profits on microtransactions, more or less cosmetic items, because that's, making people pay like 60, 70, sometimes even $80 a year on content that, may not be to the standard what the gamer is actually expecting. But adding in cosmetic items that cost, maybe like $1 or $2, but over time they'll add up to the same amount of DLC. They get a DLC and those cosmetic things, and to be honest, there's not that much work that actually goes into those cosmetic items anyways. Probably just one coder spends maybe a little bit of time coding in, then you have the visual artists that add some details in. It's really not that much work as long as the system is actually set up the same. It might be a little harder adding in over armors. I've never seen that in Destiny before, but I'm sure if they're adding in a whole nother planet, they can take the time to add in that stuff, because if they're really trying to go with the MMO route, you got to be a little more cosmetics. You got to be able to customize your character. If you're going to be playing your character throughout Destiny 2 and Destiny 1, you know, people get attached to the characters, but why not spice them up? Maybe add a few new haircuts and still be able to hold on to the original haircut they had. Maybe add in dyes where they can dye their hairs and stuff like that and not have to change their whole haircut again. Maybe eye color. You have contacts, or maybe there's options in this year that they can actually genetically change their eyes. You know, there's so many options that they can add to Destiny for cosmetic things. They just need to take the time to actually do it. But are they going to do it? I don't know. We'll see when the new DLC comes out, or the new Destiny 2. How much time they actually put in towards the player and how they will interact with the world they are and the players that are with them. There's just so many things that, you know, Destiny needs to add that people are overlooking, and I think it's about time they start adding it to make it really feel like an MMO experience, not just a game where you go around and shoot things with your friends. You know, it's good and all fun, but we need a little more. It's been almost 2 years now, and what does Destiny have? I don't know. There's some MMOs out there that slap Destiny in the face. They need to start thinking about, are other players really going to put their money into it when the year 3 comes along? Like, are they going to be investing this money? Are they going to go to newer MMOs like that are out, or other games like Overwatch is coming out? And to be honest, it's a pretty good game. I did some beta gameplay, and I might be moving to that because it's really, really fun. And they have a lot of options for how you want to play. You know, there's so many different characters that you can beat, and that's really fitting into the online style. But Destiny, yeah, they have classes. They do not have a personal touch to them. You know, you can't rechange your stuff. You can't add to your character. You know, your character has to grow, and the armor that's added on there is just pretty much being replaced. Every MMO makes you do that. So what's the difference with everything else, you know? And I think that's what Destiny needs to do. Start taking the players' interactions in their perspective, you know? The frick? Okay, is there someone helping me or something? I'm just going on a rampage talking, and this is... What? Where is it? What? I didn't even kill any of the Centurions. Where is it? I'm really confused. What? Oh man, Destiny's so funny sometimes. Okay, let me switch up some stuff. Very... Oh my gosh. It's just subsided, and there's no one else here. Like, I don't understand how I got the boss. I mean, going on my rampage or talking, maybe Destiny was listening. Bungie. There's no way it just randomly spawned. Someone had to do that. Oh my gosh. Like, someone just, like, disconnect from the game when they were killing everything? I don't see anyone here. Yeah, spawn the boss and just leave. That's... What? And then we have another bullshit thing. These goblins, like, they shouldn't be able to heal bosses. Like, sure, it's everything needs a new mechanic, but, like, it gets kind of annoying after a while. Like, if you're by yourself, how in the heck are you going to clear every enemy and kill the boss in time for these events? There's no way. Like, not everyone in Destiny has friends, okay? There's going to be losers that don't have any friends. You know, look at me. I don't have anyone right now to play with. Well, that's just basically because I don't want to play with anyone right now, unless I need help. But the fact is, I think Destiny needs to consider players that are playing by themselves, if they can actually beat it with a reasonable light level. Like, I usually get the health by myself almost to zero, and then he disappears. Like, that's kind of bull. You know, you work like about maybe like 5 minutes on this boss. You spend all that time dedicated to it, and then Bungie decides, oh yeah, let's just stop the timer. Okay, there's obviously reasons why they do this. Server. Yeah, see it. There he is. There's really no point in killing him, but I think what Destiny needs to do is, consider all the play styles that Destiny players have. Not just one stereotypical party that they all join together in a party and try to do every mission together. Because, I played with many different types of people, and to be honest, there's many people that don't have that many friends in Destiny, and they just want to play casually. But when a casual player wants to take it up a notch and start doing the raids, they have a tough time because the gear they have just doesn't cut it. So what they do is they start trying to do missions, maybe use 3 coins on these type of bosses. They die because, even some of the story missions are pretty hard on your own. Yeah, you might say LFG is a good place, but, my thought on LFG is I do use it once in a while to help people out, but LFG is a thing created for people that don't want to talk to their people and just get the raid done. Now, that's a really unhealthy community right here, is people looking on a web page just so they can get the raid done and get gear. They don't really care usually about making friends. They might act like that way, but it's the same kind of way on the community website on Bungie too. Like, things need to be changed to make the player, to make this more of a community. Bungie's got to do a little more of stuff like that to add in the community. And not everyone is upset about this. People like, oh yeah, Destiny's fine just the way it is. And they're entitled to their opinions, but if you don't have any facts to update your opinions, they're pretty, not really great opinions in my hack. They might be kind of dumb. So, what I'm getting at right here is just people need to start really thinking what they want from the game. And, Bungie is not going to do anything that they don't need to do. They're not going to do all this extra work for players that don't even want it. So, really making a hard voice to Bungie, Bungie isn't the type of, they don't listen most of the time when it comes to something. Sometimes they do. It's really a hit and miss with Bungie, but, if you're never going to whine about it, you're never going to get it, okay? And the worst thing about the community is they whine about something, and then they whine that they did it after. And that's stupid. If you're going to complain to a company that makes games for a living, that what you wanted before is what you don't want anymore, well, that's just stupid. They're never going to listen to any of your other complaints anymore. And I'm not going to get into which topic I'm talking about, because you probably already know what it is. Just saying that Destiny players need to be grateful when Bungie actually listens, and not just complain because it didn't turn out the way they thought it'd turn out. Because that's life. Things aren't going to turn out perfect. You're not going to get everything handed to you on a silver platter. Life happens. The CEO and the managements, they don't play these games. They don't know what the players want. All they care about is what the profits are being, all that other business shit. And they don't care about the players. Obviously the coders and the people that actually spend time making the game do. But all the bureaucrats, they want results. And that sometimes doesn't fit with what the players want. So it ends up being a 50-50, and players do not like that. You know what? Suck it up, players. Sometimes you gotta get a 50-50 chance, Sometimes you gotta have some losses and some wins. But if you don't voice your stuff, you're never gonna get 100%. So stop whining about decisions you make and just live up with them. You know what I mean? Anyways,